Welcome to RC Pylon TV. I'm Don Stigall, and this video is about the DLE 60 twin engine. You may ask why I'm covering a twin cylinder gas engine on RC Pylon TV. The answer is RC Pro developed Warbird 80 Racing. That's warbird80.com. or warbird80racing.com, and the rules have evolved to where this engine is a legal engine. Warbird 80 is based on airplanes that have at least an 80-inch wingspan. They have to be IMA legal. The wing area has to be at least 1,100 square inches. The engines are now limited to 4.0 cubic inches total displacement, or 65.55 cc's. We started out with smaller engines and more airframe limitations, but feedback from the people who want to fly the event is that they want the 50 to 60 cc engines for the numerous giant scale ARFs that are now available for Warbirds. I had gotten this engine from my wife in Christmas of 2016 to go in a ultimate biplane, and it would be a nice fit in here. But now that we're allowing this engine in Warbird 80, I'm working on getting the engine ready for the test stand. One airplane it would fit is a Zero by the World Models, and that may be the kind of engine I use on that airplane. I also have a P-51 that I was customizing, and it was going to be a barred all miss, but now it's going to be a color tile, and I'm going to put either a DLE 60 twin on the front or a DLE 55, depending on which one gives me the most speed. I'll have full telemetry on that airplane, including airspeed and ground speed and in-air RPM. I've been using a test stand that has two servos, one for choke and one for throttle, and I've been breaking in a DLE 35 RA rear exhaust engine. That engine's close to being broken in. I may wind up putting it on a P-51 Mustang GS double treble that I was going to put a 4-stroke engine in because I like the 35 RA. So far, I've run the DLE 30 and the DLE 35, but I haven't run anything bigger than that. So this will be the biggest engine I've run in the DLE line. It's a very nice looking engine. I have it mounted on a PSP test stand, and this is the DLE back plate. I had to drill one additional hole to fit it. It uses 4 5mm screws to hold the prop on, and when you're drilling your prop for this engine, these drill jigs are very convenient for making sure you get the job done properly. This engine has two twin mufflers, obviously, and they're at an angle. I'm not sure that I would not still have to cut openings in this cowl, but if this is a smooth running engine, and I've seen a video of one in a Pitts S12, I believe, and it sounds like a very nice engine. It's supposed to have real good habits. It comes with a powered electronic ignition, and the spark plug wires are plenty long for you to mount the ignition module wherever you need to. The lead from the timing sensor is plenty long and plugs into a lead that's about 8 inches long on the ignition. There's also a tachometer output, and there's a power. I have my telemetry set up so that I can pull the tachometer from the lead, but I won't have to do that with this ignition box. I have the engine mounted to this backplate mount using OS 1-inch standoffs. These are the 2-inch versions. I like them because they're threaded on each side. And if you need to change an engine quick, assuming you've got it tightened down to the firewall properly, you can probably just change out the engine by pulling off 4 screws, disconnecting your throttle linkage, and have at it, which in racing, getting things done in a hurry between heats can sometimes be real important. It comes with 4 1-inch standoffs, and the engine itself is 5.75 inches from the back of the backplate to the thrust washer. So with 1 inch, it gets it at 6.75 inches. That's on the outside range of what the P51 can handle for a range. The cowl will be about as far forward as it can go. I may even have to make a custom cowl or extend the cowl. But twins are typically smooth running engines, and the torque and extra power of a twin may be the ticket over a 55. The 62 size engines are too long for the P51, so I'm going to stay with a DLE 60 twin or a DLE 55 RA for my color tile P51. This test stand is the original PSP test stand. It has a throttle lever, and I already have a hole drilled down here, and I can probably get to the throttle linkage through this hole. I may have to open this hole up some, because when I put this on my telemetry test stand, I'll have the choke and the throttle coming through it, so I'm probably going to expand the size of this hole. This is the vibration dampening test stand by PSP. I've run engines on it, and it's very nice for absorbing shock. I haven't decided yet if I will break this engine in on my telemetry test stand or if I'll do its initial break-in on the vibration dampening test stand. I have multiples of these tripod test stands. My dad made me quite a few of them because I sent out some to people, and I just haven't gone into production on actually making them available. But they work on engines easily up to 60 cc's, and I'm sure you can run 110s to 150. I know somebody's running 111 on one. I'm going to take the engine off the test stand and show you a few additional features about the engine. Before I show more details on the engine, I'll show you the back plate. You can see it's got a cutout for the carb opening here for when the carb is near the back plate. I had to drill one additional hole for the square pattern This mount's designed for DLE engines. However, the DLE 35 and the DLE 55 will require creative placement of the engine if you don't use a stock PSP backplate mount. I have one that has holes drilled for the DLE 35, and I'm sure I'll wind up drilling holes in that one for a DLE 55. But here's the additional hole that the push rod is set up to go through. And you can see that you can just route your push rods however you need to. And don't be afraid to drill holes in your PSP stands. It won't weaken them enough that an engine's going to break one. So here's just the engine. And you can see the angled mufflers, and the exhaust stacks come out pretty close to parallel. One unique thing is that one of the screws actually goes through the exhaust outlet. The Walbro carburetor has a horn on the choke, but it doesn't have a horn on the throttle. They provide two horns, and one of the things I'm going to do is take off this choke arm because I like servo controlled chokes because I don't like sticking my hand through a prop or having to walk around the prop to choke that engine. And choke from the transmitter is very convenient. So I'm going to take off the mufflers. And here you can see the cylinders are offset and the mufflers are not symmetrical. The mounting holes on the exhaust are the same dimensions as the DLE 30, and that's the same as the OS GT33 and numerous DLE 30 clones. So headers that work with DLE 30s will work with this engine. Unfortunately, David McAllister of Max Products passed away, or I would be using headers on this. I have a header that I've been doing a lot of work with a tune pipe on a GT33, and the tune mufflers and the headers make these engines perform even better. But I want to be able to fly this airplane at a local club, and having the mufflers on it will make it so that I can do that. Here's the control arm I was talking about with the choke. What I have found is that you can grind. You can, first of all, take the screw out that holds in the choke plate, and then you can take out the bar and you can grind the brass and easily take off the choke arm. I probably will just take the choke plate off and take the bar off. As a matter of fact, I'm curious and I have to know now if I can do that. And the choke arm comes right off. It'll be easy to grind this away. So it looks like I can easily deal with the choke situation that I had been pondering for several days. I practiced on a cheap Chinese carburetor before I did this. I went ahead and removed the choke arm from the choke bar. Okay, I now have an offset arm on the choke, and I'm going to move it just a little bit. Now I'll come back and use thread locker, but I want to be able to position this while I'm setting up the throttle linkage. And I'm going to check and see if the muffler has clearance on the choke lever. And I need to actually tighten it down to find out. The choke lever I installed has very small amount of clearance to the muffler, so I'll have to shorten it and drill a new screw hole, but that's no big deal. I may even put a ball link on it. So getting the throttle linkage set up is now one thing that's off of my mind. I just have to get the right combination of parts. It's a good looking engine. Can't wait to see it run. Can't wait to get it on the airplane and get it in the air. But I'm counting on the build for my P51 to take at least 6 months, and I want to have this engine going well before then, so I may put it on something else and fly it before I fly it on the P51. I might get that ultimate 27% done, and if it works out well, get a second engine. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned as I progress through bench running this engine and then get it in an airplane and get it in the air. Please subscribe to rcpylon.tv and please subscribe to donstegall.com. I still put a lot of content on donstegall.com because it has so many more subscribers. If you're interested in RC Pylon racing at all, you should subscribe to rcpylon.tv because there will be many more videos about things RC Pylon racing related. Thanks for watching.